couldn't end the new year without giving y'all a little chat. You know what I mean? One thing I will say before I get started, your hair will always do you dirty. All right. Y'all see how flawless these curls look? I just took the rollers out, and usually when I got somewhere to be, the curls want to be going all different types of way. But today we have a perfect roller set, as you can see. All right, honey. So ladies, if you all didn't already know, get you some nice thick, mine are purple. I don't know if they come, I'm sure they come in other colors, but get you some nice thick rods. Okay. Set your wig on its head, and you good to go for when it's time to leave the house, if they act right. But clearly I must have did my thing in curling these. But anyway, let's move on. So I was going back and forth because I really did want to do an end of the year, like reflection type of situation. But I gave y'all a really good video last year on like tips for the new year, you know, good mindsets to go into the new year with, all that good stuff. But I was watching Insecure last night, and it gave me the perfect segue. So we're going to talk about Insecure, obviously, but we're also going to talk about the messages that we can take into the new year with last night's episode. All right. So let's just get into it, because I ain't trying to hold y'all too long. I told y'all I've been trying to like cut down on the length of my videos, because I know clearly we don't have good attention spans. But I want to thank all of you all who still rock with me. My channel has been around for about 2 years, going on its third. So I just really appreciate people who consistently like tune in and listen to me talk my shit. You know, y'all are loyal. All right. So we are at the end of an era. The end of an era. Like, I really didn't consider how long Insecure has been out, how long like it's just become so family like how long we've been attached to this series. And last night made all of that real. You know, I think of Insecure, like, some people don't like it, they think it's corny or cringy, and I will say Insecure is a good corny cringy, right? Like, sometimes they do stuff that is just like, ooh, like, you know, we do that in real life. But I think that it's very well balanced. Unlike some of these shows that are coming out that I'll touch on a little bit later, that I feel like it's just being overdone. And it doesn't feel authentic. It don't feel as relatable. But I feel like Insecure has done an amazing job at kind of just showing the trajectory of where many of us millennials have been, are going, all of the questions and unsurety and the doubt, and just trying to like build ourselves up to be in a better position in life and do better than the generations before us. Like, I don't think they could have done a better job than the way that they've been able to do that. And because I've written a book, I understand what it's like. It took me 2 years to write my book, right? And when I talk to people about it, I reflect on the fact that who I was when I started writing was not, I wasn't that same person when I finished that book, right? Like, there were things that I had to go through before I even got to certain chapters to be able to write them in the way that I did, certain experiences that I needed to have. And I can appreciate Issa, because I feel like as she went through creating Insecure season after season, there are certain things that changed about her. Therefore, it changed about her art. It changed her work in the best way possible. And we see that progression. So I will say that last episode made up for a lot of the weaker episodes in the beginning. Because, you know, I be on Twitter, and we was giving early episodes of Insecure this season a hard time. Like, it just wasn't giving what needed to be gave. It was a little dry. You know, some stuff we didn't need, like them looking for that damn dog. And it was just a lot that they, you know, I feel like it was a buildup. Like, let's keep them, you know, on their toes, keep them interested. And bam, you gonna give us everything in the last episode? Like, I think that it was really good to use birthdays as representation for that last episode, because number one, they did say that they didn't want to miss each other's birthdays. Like, I feel like we always talk about, you found out who your real friends are on your birthday. That shit is not that shit is not a lie. Like, that shit is real. And we were able to see, like, no matter what's going on in everybody's life, it's important to take those moments to, you know, celebrate your people on the day that they was born. Like, that's important. I feel like it was also very fitting that we have birthdays as the last episode because the first episode was Lawrence forgetting Issa's birthday. And here we are at the end having her and her little bonus child, and her man celebrate her. Like, ooh, just so good. But I really appreciate, I think that Issa knew we would want to see everybody's story pan out. We needed to know how it ended. Like, if we just got some regular, we would have been pissed because there would have been so many unanswered questions about what happens in their life. Like, that last episode could have been a movie. It could have been a movie. And we could have got way more. Like, I know people's like, oh, well, we could have gotten some of that character development across this last season. But I don't know if it would have hit the same. Like, I think she did this shit so we would have this impact in this very last episode, and it would just all come together. So I really appreciate that we got answers to our stories, What else? Yeah. So, huge message that I got from it, which, of course, many of us should know at this point. As you get older, friendships take intentions. Like, you have to be intentional with your friendships because, when we grow up, we in the same schools as people. We might stay up the block. But when everybody starts creating their own lives, going their separate ways, you have to make a different level of effort to make sure that you remain present in that person's life. And present in a way where they understand that they are loved, right? Like, again, birthdays being a huge one. Like, I think that's just something, it should only be a very rare occasion where you missed one of your homegirls, your close-knit circle's birthdays. Like, that's just what it is. So let's talk about some of the characters, right? So, love Molly and Torian's relationship development. Like, we swore up and down that Molly ass wasn't never gonna find nobody because of her attitude, because of how she approached situations, just putting so much pressure. And then her and Torian used to get into it. You know what I mean? So, like, the fact that we've been able to see now in this last season that they're on better terms, then they start liking on each other, and then they get married, perfect. Like, we needed that. Something very real. Molly losing her mom. Now, of course, all of us were probably very relieved when she survived, the stroke that she had. We were so glad that didn't have to be the case. But now, we lose that. And it's sad, but it's real because at this point, many of us are in our late 20s, our early 30s, and unfortunately, people's parents are getting sick. Not to mention COVID taking people out left and right. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like that was a very real issue that at our age we're having to start to face, is the fact that we won't have our parents forever. And we may not even have them during those very important and meaningful milestones that we want to have them at. So I thought the dedication table at the wedding was beautiful. Like, I think doing stuff like that is just so touching and important. So it was tough, but again, very much relatable to where we are in life. I think that I'm very proud of who Molly represents in this last season, because we've seen her growth, like, not only from who she was in relationships, but just how she was as a person. The scene where her and Issa got emotional and she thanked her for, like, loving her when she was being her. Like, that's what friendship is. It's sometimes loving our friends even when they not being their best self. And, like, I think that's where the unconditional part comes in. Like, it's easy to be friends with somebody when they do everything right, but it's difficult to stick through those rough patches, because we didn't think they was gonna make it. I did a whole video on when it's time to let a friendship go, centering Issa and Molly, because her ass was tweaking. But I'm so glad that we got to see them work through that and, like, just have that friendship bond be stronger than ever. Like, even when you could tell in the episodes, even when there was distance, right? Like, oh, I haven't talked to you, I haven't seen you, I miss you, bitch. Like, they still found a way to connect. And that's what we have to do. Like, we have to keep those phone calls. We have to keep those check-ins, those group chats. Like, I really think about more often now how my group chats, and I will say social media as well, like, it really keeps me in touch with my people. Even if I'm not texting to be like, hey girl, how you been? It gives us an opportunity to talk. It gives us an opportunity to stay up to date on what's been going on. And I think we can just all really take a second to appreciate, like, and acknowledge how do we keep in touch with our friends? How do we check in on them? How do we support them when they need us the most? Okay, moving on. Kelly. We love Kelly. I'm so mad we didn't get to see Kelly's pregnancy or her baby. Like, I was looking in them little scenes like, is she pregnant in this scene? Is she pregnant in that scene? Like, they could have gave us a little bit more. I feel like they kind of played my sis Kelly. But I will say that I think what we got from Kelly in that last episode, which I saw on Twitter, because I'm going to give credit. Like, I thought this tweet was great, which is that Kelly's story is one for women to keep near. It's never too late to change your wants and needs, because women always feel they have to be the same version of themselves for the long haul. No, sis, switch it up if it brings you peace. So, yes, we seen how, they was like, Kelly, we thought you didn't want children. But, baby, the right circumstances, the right experience, you can change. Like, nobody is holding you to any standards or rules or expectations in a way that you don't have that option. You always have that option. I'm here to tell you always have the option to change your mind in most cases. But when it comes to stuff like this, yes, like life is difficult, and life is full of uncertainties and just a lot of different things that can change the way we perceive a certain situation or what we thought we were getting into, So be open to change when it's called for. That's what we can learn from Kelly. Also, Kelly glowing up and taking on Molly's opportunity to have her own little shadig at her law firm. Come on. That's a glow up. And you know what? That's what real friendships do. Real friends, they gonna put you on. They want to see you elevate. They want to see you be in a better position, and they're gonna put you in positions to be able to do that if that's your real ride or die. So plug your friends, get them paid. So Tiffany, I usually feel like Tiffanys storyline does not give what needed to be gave. I will say that I just feel like it's something missing. But I feel like we also may have, as an audience, overanalyze, right? Because when Tiffany was dealing with, being a new mom and the move and stuff like that, and even stuff back in the day, we used to suspect that it was something going on with her and the husband, right? But we never got any answers to that. So I feel like maybe we was overthinking it, because we swore up and down that something was going to be revealed about Tiffany and Derek, and it never came. All we really got was Tiffany struggling with her postpartum, which was a very important situation to depict, because moms be needing to get the fuck. Okay, they be needing to get a hotel room and go be by themselves sometimes. Now, maybe they should communicate that, but that was a very real situation that we needed. And then, of course, her admitting that she really didn't like her move. She was struggling to make friends. And I think that that's also very real to depict, because sometimes we make sacrifices for our partners, and we want to help them create the dream and have better opportunities, but that's not always easy. She said she struggled with making friends, with finding a job. And so when you move away from your support system, your network, it can be very lonely. So I wish we could have gotten a chance to explore Tiffany a little bit more. But I do think that what she really represents is the woman who seems like she has it all, but yet there are still things that she's unsatisfied with. So I think it's important that we don't always judge a book by its cover, right? We don't always think that, because something looks really good, that it's hidden, because it ain't always hidden. So, yes, best wishes to Tiffany in her move to Denver. All right, so, finale. We got Issa. First of all, her career glow up. Do y'all remember when Issa started? Not only did she glow up in a way where, yes, she got to a point where she made more money. She got more security for herself. But we got to see her establish something meaningful in her career, something that she had a passion to do. And many of us, a lot of people don't get that opportunity. They just stay at a job because it gives them some benefits and it pay work, but they don't take the risk necessary to go out and really go for what they want to do. And that's what we were able to see Issa do. Even when she had to Uber, okay, when Shorty almost didn't have 2 dimes to rub together, that hard work, them phases of like feeling like you don't know what the fuck you doing, all of that shit pay off when you just stay the course. Literally just see her bring her vision to life. The battles that the last episode I think was really important because it spoke on our battles that we have with self-doubt. Like self-doubt is actually stronger than I feel like negative messages that we receive from other people, because we can pass other people's negative messages off as projection, as being miserable, as being bitter, as being a hater. But when it comes from within, that's a mental and emotional struggle that it takes a lot to really work through and overcome. And getting to the point where you can look at yourself and say, look, bitch, you're doing a good job. Keep going. Like, it takes a lot to get there. So I think that that's a huge lesson to take into the new year is not going into it with self-doubt. Believing that you can achieve everything that you want to achieve and being willing to take the risk in order to do so. Because even if you fail, like, that's better than not putting your best foot forward and staying stagnant. Okay. Yes. Look, I got a quote here. I had to believe that it would work for it to work. I had to believe that it would work out for it to work. If you don't have that in your head, nobody can put that there for you. People can tell you how amazing you are, how talented you are, how, just everything that they think about you. They can compliment you till the sun come up. But if you do not possess that inner growl to like go after it and like believe that you can do it, it means nothing. All right, so let's get to Issa and her love triangle. All right, so there were many theories going around about what we thought Issa would do as far as her relationship status, right? Some people, I think a lot of us felt like Nathan was never the permanent choice. But we also cannot forget at how Lawrence's ass was throughout most of these seasons, from sitting on his ass, forgetting her birthday, not getting a job, all the reckless shit he was kind of doing when he was single, and then you go and get a bitch pregnant. We really thought the pregnancy was going to be the end for them, all right? I saw a lot of, Issa's going to choose herself. She's going to choose herself. Well, I think that the story ended the way it needed to. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, we do see some of Nathan's growth as well in this, because Nathan was notorious for like not communicating how he was feeling, for kind of just getting passive aggressive or ghosting completely. At least he told Shorty like, look, I got to choose what's best for me. And I think not being somebody's number one pick would always, like, that'll stick with you forever. You'll always have that thought lingering in the back of your head. So yes, it was very good of Shorty to just go ahead and move on his business. And I like the fact that they show him come around later for her birthday, which just kind of shows, breakups don't always have to be mean, nasty, and bitter. Like, you can be cordial. You can recognize that, like, we two decent people, we just didn't need to be together. It just didn't need, we just weren't in the place to pursue and have a healthy relationship with all of the factors and the complications and the feelings involved. Okay. So I think that was it was a good opportunity to see how things can develop when people are just mature about where they really are instead of stringing people along. So what does it say? Okay. Yeah. Chose himself. Blah, blah, blah. We talked about that. So I know that many people had objections to Lawrence and Issa getting back together. They said it could be toxic and all this other stuff, right? They said it would be her settling because he went out and had a baby. Let me point this out. The difference between Issa and Lawrence deciding to get back together at the end of this versus a lot of people that we know out here running back to their ex is the fact that there were years in between this breakup. There was significant time where we got to watch them work on themselves individually. Go out there, see what else is out there, explore, pursue other situations, and really do the internal work necessary to be in a better position in life and to be better mentally and emotionally so that you are equipped to be a good partner. So the timing with 4 or 5 years in between they break up and they get back together, it works. It makes sense. And as somebody, which if you've watched more of my videos, you'll know this. As somebody who dated a man who was a new father, I'm talking about like was together before the baby got here and then shortly after the baby arrived. The best thing they could have done was let Issa go and do whatever she was doing while Lawrence was figuring out how to be a new father. It is so much work and complications that come up when a man is trying to learn how to co-parent with a woman he's not in a relationship with. She didn't need to be around for all of that. Because, baby, all the seeing the family time and all of that, it would have stressed her out. It stressed me out, okay? I've been there. So, best thing they could have did was let her go off and frolic while he figured out his situation. And we see when they back together, look, the baby done grew all up. He loved her like, so good. And him and Condola were able to get to a good spot where they were able to, again, when babies are newborns, they still trying to figure stuff out. When you gonna come get him? When he gonna stay with me? And it's just a lot. So, very good, realistic writing on what needs to happen in order for them to get back together. Ending the series with like Lawrence waiting at home with the cake. It was beautiful. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the characters. I think that there is a lot to unpack that we could talk about. Wait, I had a few more screenshots I wanted to talk about. Yes, so as we noticed in that last scene, one of the last scenes that Issa's reflection talking to her, her other person, her voice in the mirror was gone. And somebody pointed out on Twitter that it brings the whole story together that she's no longer insecure. And I think bigger than no longer being insecure, because I think insecurities continue to kind of exist in different capacities. I think it's not letting that insecurity stop you from going after what you want. Not letting that voice get so big where it drowns out all of the potential, all of the possibilities, all of the positives that could come as a result of just following through and just seeing what happens. So huge moment, like, again, brings the whole story together, the title together, because now it's like, am I insecure? Probably still in some areas, but it doesn't define me. My insecurities don't hold me back. They don't keep me from going after what I want. They don't define me. Also, somebody posted a screenshot that we probably missed. I gotta go back. I'm gonna watch the whole season again. But Issa had a ring on. So either they was engaged or I don't know, but they was on their way, and I appreciated it. Okay, see, we needed to see, because that was the one thing I was like, damn, do they get married? Like, they on the path. If they weren't married, they on their way. They engaged at least. Okay, so one thing I think is really crazy to think about is where you were when Insecure first premiered, fall 2016. I was still in my old apartment, like still kind of trying to get my feet wet in my career, and just that reflection of like where you were all them years ago and where you are today I think it's meaningful, especially again, we getting ready going to a new year. It's okay to give yourself some credit for how far you've come, for everything that you've made it through, for all of the things that you were unsure how they would work out. Like, be able to sit on that. And even using those moments where you did doubt yourself and things worked out. They worked out for you. So, and then even when something didn't work out for you, think about how that worked out for you, okay? Those are the moments we have to give credit to. Because it be shit that we just think we want so bad. And then later on down the line, we had that full circle moment where it's like, I had no business even wanting that. I'm so glad that didn't work out. Another good tweet that I saw about the show: this is a great representation for those who feel like they should have it all so young. Just because you aren't successful in your 20s doesn't mean you're a failure. You still have your life ahead of you. Y'all, we getting there. We getting there. I know it's been hard. I know it's just been confusing and some disappointment. But as long as you're further developing the plan, the goals, the vision, because sometimes we can't even put that shit in the writing. Sometimes we just need to see it, and then we can figure out how to work backwards. But not counting yourself out just because you're not where you want to be. Even at 30, I'm knocking on 30, and I'm still in this apartment, but I won't be for long, okay? They might got another year or so out of me, and then it is on the greener pastures. But that's what I'm saying. Like, just think about what you've already accomplished and know that you still got a lot of life left to get that other stuff done. It ain't, hopefully we aren't going anywhere. Also, I think that it was great. Somebody pointed out how Insecure, as a millennial Black television show, got to end on its own terms, right? So many of the shows that we end up falling in love with, they get snatched off the air. It be some bullshit. We get new characters not new characters. We get new actors who are supposed to replace old characters, and it just don't hit the same. And so I have a great appreciation that we got to see this through start to finish. And they got the opportunity to tell their story in the way that they wanted to tell it without it being snatched from under them. Because you know what? I just rewatched Girlfriends for the second time. And I get pissed every time I realize when that last episode go off and Joan was reading that letter to them students that's it. We never see Aaron come home. We never get nothing. And I just even think about it make me mad. So yes, it's a blessing to be in that position, to be able to wrap that story the way that you want to wrap it. All right. So I think we touched on, what we need to do moving forward. Believe in yourself, build your confidence, fuck what other people gotta say, unless it's good constructive criticism, unless it's, things that you really need to hear, even when they're hard to hear. Sometimes we need that, and be okay with letting go. Like, that's what I'm kind of moving into the new year, getting in a better position of doing. It's just being okay with admitting and acknowledging that certain things are, they're not good for me anymore. I'm too good for them. They don't serve me. And I need to trust my path. I need to trust God. I need to trust the universe that anything that is going to work out and be for me is not going to take me through hell and high waters. It might be a little tough, but not to the point where it just feels impossible. So I'm holding on to faith in that, and I encourage everybody else to hold on to faith in that. I hope that you're not being too hard on yourself. If you did not get everything done this year that you wanted to do, the last 2 years in this pandemic, for some people, have been hell. Full of just, again, y'all gonna hear me say this, the ups, the downs, the uncertainties, the things that we don't know what this life shit is getting ready to look at. And I think the COVID and the pandemic made that twice as strong. So in the meantime, just focus on what you can control. Leave the stuff that you can't. Because at the end of the day, the only stuff that we really need to worry about is the stuff that we have a hand in. And everything else, we kind of just got to leave it and hope for the best. So, like I said, don't be too hard on yourself if things happened this year that took you away from all of the goals that you set or not getting to where you wanted to be. You got more time. So, now is the time to look, take them goals off that old list that you didn't do and put them on the new one. It's the same thing I do with my to-do list. Every week, if it ain't something I ain't get to, I'm going to just put it on the next one. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to it'll get done. I'm going to work towards it. So, stop procrastinating. Build better habits. Take your ass to therapy. Because most of those things, if you being stagnant, if you not living up to your full potential, it's usually one of those reasons. So it's okay to say that you need some help. It's okay to say that you're not happy. Let's go figure that out. Let's not ignore it and act like it's not happening. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Last little piece. Let's talk about what else I'm watching in case you need some good ideas. So I just finished Selling Tampa. I'm watching Selling Sunset now because I seen on Twitter that they was talking about, the differences between the two. And I will tell you, if you watch Selling Tampa, go watch Selling Sunset. Them white girls are selling, honey, okay? It's very inspiring. It's motivating, like, to see the type of money in the houses that they touch and shit. I'm in the wrong field, and I'm in the wrong city. I clearly need to take my ass up there and pull out my goodies and really show what I got and get into another industry, because they ain't over there playing around. Of course, I'm watching The Powers. I'm actually rewatching I get confused on the names of all of these shows now. I'm watching the original Power. I'm rewatching that for the second time. I love it. Such good television. But I'm also loving, Power Book with Tariq. And then I finally got a new TV where I can watch all of the streaming shit, the HBO, the Stars and stuff. So I was able to go back and watch Raising Kanan and all of the stuff I missed out on because I ain't had no smart TV. I'm also rewatching Half and Half in my free time. Love that. It's such a key. 90 Day Fiance, Before the 90 Days, new season. Check it out if you haven't started. All new people, so entertaining to see what these people are doing with these foreigners and how they think these relationships are going to pan out. Very interesting. I really tried to get into Portia's new show, but to me, it's just not giving what it needs to give. It's just not. I'm bored. It's not doing it for me. And shows that I finished that I love Life. If you haven't watched it, so relatable, and interesting, especially when you see how white people date and the type of stuff that they do. It can be different, but very interesting. Watch that. And of course, I watched Harlem with Megan Good. I feel like this is what I meant earlier when I said I was going to circle back to shows being a little too cringy for me now. Harlem was one of them. I think that Megan Good is a very good actress, but I feel like they are trying too hard. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. I just feel like the acting is just, they trying too hard. Was I interested? Yes. Tyler's fine as fuck. I hope I'm getting his name right. I think that's his name. The one that's dating Lyra. No, that's not Lyra. Miracle Watts. See, I'm getting everybody confused. Fine as hell. Love to watch him. But yeah, the rest of them, I just feel like they're trying too hard. And I love that we get to see a lesbian, beautiful black woman in this role and being who she is and getting to see the other side of that. I think that was also very well needed, and we need to continue to create those spaces in television to tell those stories. So that's all I got, y'all. I really hope that y'all had a great Christmas. I hope that your new year is going well. Stay safe. Do what you can. Don't be getting the vid and then going outside. Stop doing that. All right. But yeah, I want the best for us. I'm taking suggestions for new content or videos that you want to see. My goal is to step into making reels and TikToks next year. It feels like a lot. It feels overwhelming, but I think that that's a market I need to tap into. And I think I will be very good at it once I get the hang of it. So y'all send me luck on that. And yeah, I'll see y'all in 2022, okay?